Hey there, and welcome back to the HQ. Today, we are going to be reacting to every 40k faction explained by PackRat. So, I've been meaning to get into 40k lore for a while now, and I wasn't really sure where to start. So I figured, what better than a nice, short, bite-sized introduction of a video explaining every single faction in about a minute or so. And considering this video is almost 30 minutes long, I can only imagine that there's a lot of factions. I don't know. I know nothing about 40k lore. All I know is what the memes tell me. So I'm just kind of going into this. I'm just going in raw, folks. So buckle up with me. Take the journey into 40k with me. And because, you know, I'm a big sci-fi head, so I don't know if I'm going to do Warhammer Fantasy, because I'm a sci-fi girl. I'm a Star Girl. I play Halo, I play Mass Effect, I do stuff like that. So, first time into Warhammer, let's jump right into this and learn about 40k together.
Hi friends, today we're going to talk about every faction in 40k.
Okay.
Roughly every main faction that is.
Every
and for
main
roughly
faction.
a minute or two each. This will be a great way to get a feel for all the factions
Way
in the
past
game,
a minute,
but
oops.
we'll of course be lacking a lot of details.
Okay, that's
it's
valid.
predominantly meant to spark interest and
Very
hopefully help people
bare
find what
bones.
faction they vibe with. Then you
Okay.
can learn more from my dedicated videos and of course the book.
Oh, watch my other videos and also read the actual books too. Okay, so he has other videos dedicated to other factions. Okay, I guess I know where I can go next for the specifics.
But before that, allow me a moment to talk about today's sponsor, BootDev. Have you
okay.
ever wanted to learn about the esoteric world of coding?
We respect, I know like some people will skip the ads because, I know most people skip the ads if it's been like a few number of months because these affiliate links only last a few months, but I'm going to sit through the ad anyway because sometimes they're funny and have little bits to them. And also because the only time I will ever skip ads if it's something I personally do not endorse, like Honey, like Fume, like any AI bullshit, and I don't know. I've heard mixed things about BetterHelp as well, so that's also kind of one where I'm a little iffy about. As a proponent of someone who actually suggests getting a professional licensed therapist, it's like, yeah.
But found it an overly daunting task? Well then BootDev has got you covered. BootDev is a great way to learn programming since it cleverly uses elements of RPGs to hook you into learning Python, SQL, and Go.
I've also been meaning to learn how to code myself because I have the dev kit for RPG Maker MV, and I've been meaning to learn how to use that at some point because I want to make some RPG Maker projects at some point and just kind of learn how to do it myself. So I don't know.
Fun
if
lore.
they have
in
anything
college,
like
I took
that,
a programming class, but I was absolutely horrible at it. Not only was it not clicking in my brain,
college
but I also
was
found it to
not
be
great for
incredibly
me.
boring. Luckily, though, the devs of BootDev know that one of the biggest hurdles in learning coding is the boring grind, so they had the crazy idea of making their lessons more like the notoriously fun and addicting things called video games.
That is honestly,
XP,
I wish they would
get
gamify more
do
lessons
quests,
and
fight
stuff like
bosses,
that.
all the while you're completing
So that way,
coding lessons. And the courses are specifically
you have
designed
more
to
like
help you learn the skills
interest
needed to
in
pass
learning a
technical
thing.
interviews and actually get a career in programming.
Because it's like,
and if you want to
it's
try
much
it out,
easier to
there's a
learn
free
something
demo
if you
and a
gamify
30-day
it.
no questions asked refund policy on the full course, so you can see if the lessons are right for you with minimal risk.
Very
so
excellent.
If you want to learn coding in a fun way, check out BootDev and use code CrackDuck to get 25% off your entire first year on the annual plan.
Yep. So if you're interested and his link is still valid, be sure to use his code.
Huge thanks to BootDev for sponsoring this video. But
I don't know if it is
let's
valid.
Get into
Okay,
the factions.
we're getting right into it.
And who better to start off with than the best faction and single most important Imperials in the entire setting?
Okay.
These bold heroes hold the line and keep the Imperium from certain
There's
annihilation.
more
Give a
Imperials
big
than just
hand to
the
Imperial Guard.
Okay,
Woo!
the Imperial Guard. Okay.
The Imperial Guard are my favorite faction, which means they're objectively
I wouldn't
the
have
best
guessed.
ones as well. The good old Guard is the hammer of the Emperor. They are by far the most numerous army of the Imperium, and in my opinion, the most diverse faction in the entire game with all their super cool and unique regiments.
We do like
what
diversity.
Really makes them truly badass to me is that they're just a common man banding together to fight off the myriad horrors of the galaxy.
So they're just normal fellas.
Is a quality
they're just
of its own,
normal dudes throwing themselves into the wood chipper,
blast fire, battle tank volleys, unrelenting artillery bombardments, and whatever else they have access to.
They are the common man.
Sometimes numbers alone isn't enough against the many foes of the Imperium. So, the Imperial Guard is also home to some of the most brilliant strategic minds in 40k. One of the few things that base humans can naturally go toe-to-toe with the other crazy-ass factions in the game is tactical genius.
Not the little chibi
like
creature.
Lord Solar Macarius and Lord Castell and Ursarkar Creed are consistently stated as some of the greatest tactical geniuses in a setting of demigods and mega-advanced alien species.
Jesus. Like, I was like, I'm not sure what I was expecting getting into 40k. I'm not expecting just dudes in bright. We got like one guy like going guns akimbo over here in his holster, and another guy just dressed up as a crusade, like full crusader armor here, golden crusader with a sword in one hand and a gun in the other, and a dagger for safekeeping. Yeah.
The Guard truly embodies all of humanity standing together to fight.
Okay,
till
so
the very
the
end
Imperial
for what
Guard
little
then
hope they
is just
still have.
is
The
a
idea
common
of the small
fighter
fries of the galaxy going up against anything the galaxy throws at them and overcoming it with tactical cunning, overwhelming firepower, and the indomitable human spirit is so interesting and badass.
The human spirit is quite indomitable.
They do have surprisingly high-quality vehicles that are arguably some of the best in the setting. Things like the legendary Lehman Russ, the rugged Chimera, and
we
of course,
do love
the
tanks.
Baneblade super heavy battle tank.
Tanks are pretty
just
based.
the coolest shit ever.
Oh yeah, very.
Also, they of course have the Kazarkin baby. Let's go! These guys are peak badass. Just regular dudes who are so elite that they can go up against
regular fellas,
elves, and whatever else they have to.
Jeez, they're just regular fellas. Oh.
But next up, let's talk about another badass regular human faction, the Sisters of Battle. And when I say regular human, I'm kind of being loose there because while yes, they are largely unaugmented, their faith in the Emperor is so strong that they pretty frequently pull off some crazy-ass inhuman feats. The Sisters of Battle are...
So they're just, their faith is just so strong that they just like get just supernatural ass pull powers. Okay. We do love strong women. I do love a good woman who can break me in half.
An all-female order of zealots who serve as a standing army of the imperial ecclesiarchy. Their defining trait is their extreme faith. They are one of the most, if not the most, zealous factions in the entire setting, which is saying a lot. Their faith is so powerful that it causes literal miracles to manifest, and they can even summon living saints to aid them in battle.
Jesus, so they're just like the biggest zealots of the whole crew,
human faction, just like the Guard, but they're also standard equipped with bolters and power armor like Marines.
They don't have sound normal.
So they aren't quite Marine level, but they're a good middle ground between the Guard and the Marines. Combining this with their faith boost, they can do pretty well against Marines
imagine
and
this,
the other scary.
God, imagine just getting a power boost from just believing in yourself really, really hard and believing in your cause just that much, and it just gives you a physical buff to your abilities.
Scary ass foes of the galaxy, and they also have goddamn church tanks and drop chapels.
Church tanks? They just have a church on wheels with a tank cannon and drop chapels. What the fuck is 40k? What the fuck is 40k? This is like the Spanish Inquisition if it was given just like light speed drives or something. Is that what I'm looking at right now? Because that seems like what I'm looking at right now.
Badass. Then, another important branch of the Imperium is the Adeptus Mechanicus. The AdMech is responsible for manufacturing all of the Imperium's gear, as well as recovering long-lost STCs in order to relearn how to build the machines and items of ancient Dark Ages technology humans.
So basically, they're the eggheads.
Another incredibly religious faction.
Okay,
they worship
religious
the
eggheads,
who is technically the Emperor and technically not. And part of their religion is to perform rituals to appease the machine spirits whom they believe to inhabit all pieces of technology.
So, so you're just sitting there praying to Windows 95 for appeasement? Mm. God damn, there's all kinds of just religious zealotry going all around for all different kinds of zealotry.
While these rituals are largely implied to be routine maintenance and operating procedures, there have been instances of machine spirits
Ritual.
actually doing things.
Oh,
But beyond finding,
okay.
making, and repairing machines, the Mechanicus also, of course, uses said machines to fight. The Legiones Scitaris. These are the Mechanicus' military force and is composed of the cyborg Scitari, tech priest generals, and of course their powerful war machines and weapons.
So
Unlike
they're
the
nerds who can
factions,
fight.
The
then
Mechanicus is made up of heavily augmented humans.
Oh.
All Mechanicus members seek to augment their bodies with as many cybernetics as possible.
Oh boy, they're just cyberpunking it, huh?
In favor of the certainty of steel.
Oh, just pure transhumanism.
Then, next up, this is technically a subfaction of the Mechanicus, or at least about half of them are. The Imperial Knights are the badass mechs of the Imperium. They are composed of 3 subfactions, those being the Questor Mechanicus, the Questor Imperialis, and the Free Blades. These are probably self-explanatory, but in layman's terms, they're knights who like the Mechanicus, knights who like the Imperium, and knights who just like killing and questing.
That's pretty simple. I mean, I kind of guessed it. I kind of guessed that from one being their own thing, the other 2 being the same thing, except one loves the Omnissiah and one loves the Emperor. Okay, so very straightforward and simple.
The Knights are a pretty fascinating faction, as they're originally human colonists whose isolation caused their culture to evolve into a feudal system across the galaxy.
Oh yeah, because we do love feudalism.
The pilots' minds over time to act with the chivalry associated with the knights of old. And beyond their unique culture, the Knights are the biggest things on the tabletop.
Jesus.
The Titans, but those almost never show up in normal 40k games. And in lore, they're called to war zones when the Imperium really needs to bring the herd. These guys are ultra-powerful god machines capable of raising entire armies all by their lonesome. And then another ultra-elite faction that might appeal to you if you like low model counts, but can still at least count to the double digits, are the Emperor's personal bodyguards, and arguably the most powerful single warriors in the entire setting, the Adeptus Custodes. The Custodes are handcrafted super mega soldiers originally meant to be the Emperor's personal bodyguards, advisors, and even friends.
So they're just like the Royal Guard.
Physically perfect in every way. They have insane reflexes, super strength, ultra dexterity, and basically everything else is also very good.
So basically they're like the ideal candidates for the Spartan 2 program. If I'm dipping into my Halo knowledge here. Dipping into my Halo knowledge, basically these fellers, cuz the whole thing with Halo, with the Spartan program, cuz there's, if you didn't know, there's 4 different Spartan programs. I'm going on to a tangent now, I'm sorry. But basically, the original Ryan project was just kind of a super soldier program they kind of slapped together. And I'm not going to get too much into that, because the important ones are the Spartan 2, 3, and 4 program. The Spartan 2 program was done by Dr. Halsey, and all of our candidates had to be genetically perfect. They had to be literally, flawless, genetics for candidacy into the program. And it was such so tight, it was such a tight margin that they went down from 150 candidates to 75. Well, no, wait, they had I believe they originally had 300 candidates planned. They cut it down to 175 or 150, and they were only able to actually collect 75 of them. But okay, so the Custodes were custom crafted since infancy. Wow, okay, yeah, that goes even further than the Spartan 2 project, because at least, at least Oni had the decency to give the Spartan 2s 6 years before they snatched them up off the streets and Amber alerted them. But, Jesus, imagine it's custom building a baby at Build-A-Bear to be the perfect super soldier. That's kind of fucked, if you ask me.
They aren't the strongest things in the entire setting, not by a long shot, but borrowing tabletop terms, they're the strongest battle line dudes by a good margin.
Okay.
For a long while,
so they're
they isolated themselves
your strongest
to the Imperial Palace
frontliners
on Terra to wholly dedicate themselves protecting the Emperor after his little father-son bonding with Horus.
Oh.
Or at least what was left of him.
Oh.
But then, with Guilliman's return, the Custodians realized that it might be a good idea to eliminate threats before they became unstoppable apocalypses knocking on your front door.
That would be rather useful. I'm just saying, like, eliminate the threats before they become a threat.
They're to Space Marines as Space Marines are to Guardsmen, which is pretty nuts.
Oh.
But
Jesus.
finally, on that note, let's talk about who we've all been waiting for, the most iconic
The only
faction
thing I
all of
know about 40K.
and by far the most popular. And honestly, for good reason. These guys are the totally badass heroes of the Imperium, the Space Marines.
The big old boys.
Are the face
the only
of
thing I know about
no
Warhammer.
Mystery why. The Space Marines are a badass brotherhood of warriors, wholly dedicated to serving the Emperor and slaying all those who threaten
I'm reading
the
chat.
Imperium.
No, I'm reading chat. I'm reading chat. I was just yapping for a minute. I'm just reading chat here. So yeah. I've been yeah, I'm reading chat. I'm just really I'm just delving in. I'm reading chat. I'm just really delving into this lore here. I'm my first time learning 40k lore, so I'm very much delving into this. Plus, I don't have my phone on me, which I normally keep my chat on because because my phone is dead and I'm charging it. But yeah, we're learning about some 40k lore today.
The Space Marines are the Emperor's
and
angels
also,
of death.
Yeah,
They're heavily augmented
Millennial
super
cuts off at
soldiers,
at
gifted
1995.
transhuman physiology and advanced gear that makes them the perfect jack of all trades warriors. While perhaps not as fast as an Eldar.
Well, if that's what you're into, I'll be happy to ignore you all you want.
Are undying as a Necron or brutal as an Orc, the Space Marines are very well-rounded warriors, able to face nearly any of the galaxy's most heinous threats.
So there's just a bunch of different versions of Space Marines.
Like there being only roughly 1,000 chapters composed of roughly
1,000 chapters.
The
Angels
of Death are meant to be deployed tactically to break down enemies at the seams and then quickly crush them. If the Guard is the hammer of the Emperor, the Marines are his scalpel. But
okay.
The scalpel is usually pretty damn blunt. And
so from what I'm gathering then, the Space Marines aren't just an all-purpose faction. It's like they have all of these different mini factions of Space Marines that are good at a specific thing. I assume that's what I'm getting here. Because that's what it seems like to me. You have ones that are the kind you drop in whenever you want shit to be not alive anymore, and the ones that are your tactical ones, your big smash the thing ones. It seems like there's different factions, different strokes, different folks, things like that. It's very interesting that there's so many Space Marines and they all have their specific tasks that they're made for, essentially.
Most Marines are not above brutal assaults to crush anyone who stands in their way.
Well, I mean, if you're a
much
big
like the
feller,
Guard regiments, there's a lot of diversity among the Marines in the form of their chapters.
Okay.
You've got Space Romans, Space Vampires, Space Best Guys Ever, I mean Vikings, Space Knights, Wizard Space Knights, and Asians. And those are just some of the many Marine
Asians
fighting
specifically
for the glory of the Imperium. In general, the Marines are the de facto elite faction and are a well-rounded fighting force. They have unmatched flexibility and are said to be one of the most,
my flabbers are gasted right now.
Efficient military
just
force
being
in the galaxy.
Trying to really
grasp
a
faction of epic heroes set on their eternal crusade.
Trying to just grasp
each Marine being a hero in his own right.
I'm gonna have
all to
at this point, I think next one I'm going to have to do is one for every chapter of Space Marine, because now there's how many Space Marines there are. How different are they? How widely varied are these Space Marines?
Protect the Withering Imperium. But with the Marines, let's move over to their dark reflection, the Chaos Space Marines.
Oh,
These guys are basically
so
the same as the Space
we have
Marines.
more
Since
Space
they literally
Marines.
are just fallen Space Marines, but they worship chaos, have access to
Oh.
demons and cultists, have some funky warped special units, and have a lot more spikes.
I love how we have all of these, like, we have all of these generic demons and monsters and beasties, and then then we have a lady with her titties out over here with a little Leia flap going on, like in like the Jabba's palace Leia fit over here. It's like, I couldn't wear that. I would get banned on Twitch for that.
The Legionaries of Chaos are the sons of the fallen Primarchs and other lost souls who betrayed the Emperor in the Horus Heresy or otherwise.
Okay, so they're
just
Space
as,
Marines
if not
that
more
basically
elite than their
just
Imperial counterparts, as
that
many of them
betrayed
are
the
millennia
Imperium
old
then.
veterans of the Long War.
Oh.
In addition, the
They're the
Chaos
old
Marines
heads.
are also arguably even more diverse between legions, as many are dedicated to a specific chaos.
Oh, who is this mommy here? Jesus Christ. Like, just, we have an ogre, a bull man, monkey, and then mommy. Oh, it's a they. So, oh, that's a they, them. Okay. Ooh. God damn, they are fucking slaying then. Like, they're slaying.
God and have dark blessings to reflect the fact.
Okay, so each
the main
one
ones
is
being the Thousand Suns, armies of sorcerers and ghosts, the
Okay.
disgustingly resilient Plague Spread and Death Guard, the brutal Insano World Eaters, the horny and excessive weirdo Emperor's Children, and the undivided Black
the
Legion.
horny and excessively
And then,
weird.
expanding on chaos, there are of course the
That is a way to
demons of the
describe
Chaos
my
Gods.
chat.
In 40k, demons are shards of their patron god brought to life to wreak havoc in the material
Okay, so
and
then
perpetuate
we have chaos
within the
gods
warp.
then.
These warp spawn break into the material world through wanton psychers, dark rituals, or a number of other marines.
They're just throwing a bunch of words at me to expect me to know what they are. Okay.
They seek to further their god's goals in the great game and tear reality to
Okay,
shreds.
okay. And so it's
demons
demons,
can take an infinite amount
spelled
of incomprehensible
A-E.
forms,
I see
but
ya.
the most common are the lesser demon ranks. The brutal bloodletters of Khorne, the vicious and graceful demonettes of Slanesh, the sorcerous horrors of Tzeentch, and the gross plague bear and plague bearers. But they've also got big boy threats like the Greater Demons,
The big
Demon
ols.
Primarchs, and
Big
my
ol'
personal
demons.
favorite, the Demon Princes.
Okay.
And on the topic of chaos, I'd might as well mention the Chaos Knights. To be honest, I don't really know a ton about these guys.
They're just
but
the
they're
Imperial
basically
Knights, but
Imperial
chaos.
Knights, except they got spikes, cool elephant tusks, and they fight for chaos.
Yeah,
Similar
they're
things
like,
can be said for the Dark Mechanicum.
It's basically, you know, to cycle this back to stupid shit that I talk about. It's basically like Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Werehog, basically. Just make it darker, bulkier, add spikes. Done.
But now, let's move over to my favorite enemies of the Imperium, the Xenos. And let's start with my favorite Xeno species, the Orcs. The Orcs are the most prolific threats of the Imperium and probably galaxy as a whole.
Screen
They're
of
currently
orcs.
the most numerous
Big
Xeno
ol'
threat in the galaxy.
Jesus.
They inhabit planets across the galaxy in near infinite hordes broken into various clans who go planet to planet to fight the bestest foes in their great wars.
Are the orcs are that fierce?
Born from the
The orcs are that
War
fearsome?
in heaven.
Oh.
These funky green fellas are funny little guys who love war and war accessories.
They're just funny
They just
little
wanna
fellas.
Have fun and are totally wholesome. Is what I would say if I was an orc, aka a fool.
They're
in
just
reality, the orcs
funny
are
little
sadistic and
fellas.
savage Xenos that revel in the endless wars of the setting.
Okay,
and
so they're
inflicting
not
as much
funny little
suffering as
fellas.
they can to everyone else in
They're
the
not
galaxy,
funny little fellas
along
then.
with themselves. And honestly, the juxtaposition of the silly, funny fellas they see themselves as and the scary, horrible monsters that literally everyone else knows them to be makes the orcs really fun and interesting. And
So
even
they just
better,
see
their
themselves as
jury-rigged arsenal
funny
and
little
hodgepodge
fellers.
vehicles make for super fun kit bash projects. They also have a very fun culture born of their extreme stupidity clashing with their gene-rot know-how.
Their extreme stupidity. Also, what do you mean they are space mushrooms? What the fuck do you mean by that? Like, what? Excuse me? Like, I need some context there. I don't know if he's going to talk about it. He seems to be skimming over a lot of information that would be really valuable to me. This is just kind of going over my head. What do you mean, space mushrooms? Like, they're fungal creatures. So they just, like, pop out of spores. That's weird. What the fuck? Why is 40k so weird? Bruh, I'm gonna have to sit down and just watch videos on each thing now, huh? So I can better grasp what I have wrought. So I can understand what I am getting myself into.
Perhaps the orcs' most iconic trait is their light reality manipulation from their psychic gestalt. While not as extreme
the reality
as memes might make it
manips?
out to be, this is nonetheless a very powerful ability and can manifest in fun ways like making yellow rockets blow up harder or blue helmets make you more lucky. Basically, if enough orcs believe it hard enough, it can manifest in the real world.
Okay. I kind of love that. I kind of love that. I think at this point, I might like orcs the best just out of sheer stupidity. Out of the sheer stupidity of orcs, I might like them best so far. Also, thank you, Saul Carbert. Oh, boy, I'm going to butcher this. I am so sorry. I'm going to butcher this. Saul. I'm going to call you Saul. I'm going to call you Saul. Thank you, Saul, for being subscribed for 6 months. Oh, for 6 months. Tier 1 for 6 months in advance. You are an absolute doll, and I love you so much. Thank you. Mwah.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
Okay.
And the orcs are absolutely loving it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I love this funny little guy. I think I love this funny little guy.
The Eldar. The Eldar are psychic species made by the old ones in
the elves
war in heaven.
The war in
and
heaven.
Are far more graceful, agile, intelligent, and stronger than the average human.
I'm going to have to learn about the war in heaven, aren't I?
In battle, they're often only seen as blurs, unleashing hails of shurikens and blades on their foes.
God. So
aspect warriors who are just some of the most, if not the most, skilled warriors.
If not the most skilled warriors. Okay, so they're like the super ninjas then.
In the entire galaxy. But then they partied too hard, birthed the chaos god, got their soul.
Like, you never realized the nickname would be Goofy. It's just Alucard. The Nick was taken before the S. The S is Shadow. Okay then, Alucard. Thank you for the clarification. Also, immediate baddie on screen. Like that's my weakness. I can't deal with like beautiful women in hot NBs. I just can't. I see them and I'm just like, I can't. Like, I'm sorry. I'm succumbing. Like, if this is a chaos god, then I'm succumbing to the chaos gods. I'm sorry. Oh, god damn it. I am going to fall. Yeah. I think they got me. I'm sorry. I'm falling to chaos.
Eden are now only survived by relatively small groups of survivors. The most prominent Eldar subfaction are the Craftworld Eldar, inhabiting...
Jeez, you're just linking to other videos. Okay, so Craftworld Eldar.
Planetoid-sized Craftworlds, the Craftworld Eldar do all that they can to preserve their
once again, spitting words at me that I don't know.
Race alive. pun intended.
I don't know what a craft world is.
Their armies are mostly composed of the militia guardians, but they're also joined by the elite aspect warriors who dedicate themselves to select warrior paths.
Okay, so
the true power
warriors
of the
with
craft world
specializations.
Eldar are their incredibly powerful psychers. Although they're a mere shell of their War in Heaven counterparts, Eldar Psychers are still generally the most powerful in the setting and are absolute insanos on the battlefield. And then moving on, the Eldar...
Are we just gonna not explain what a Psyker is? Like, are we just, like, he's been dropping that word this whole time. He's never stopped to explain what a Psyker is. I think that's my B for just diving into this, like, just diving into it raw. And not knowing anything about 40k. Yeah, okay, so the Eldar are basically space elves. Yeah, so Eldar are basically space elves. Okay, I know enough about elves and how uptight they can be from just playing through Skyrim 3 times. So I know how elves can be. Okay, so Psychers are basically psychics. Okay, I should have guessed that. You never know. You can never know. Like, I assume it's a matter of, like, oh, they wanted to... It's like they wanted to make them psychics, but wanted to make it a term that they can copyright. Because, like, based off of what I know about Games Workshop, that seems like something they do. It's like they wanted to make it a psychic, but make it a copyrightable term for a psychic. Okay.
Also have a few interesting sub-factions, most prominently being the Dark Eldar, Harlequins, and Ynnari. The Dark Eldar are the sadistic and evil Eldar who survived the fall by hiding in the webway city of Kamara
so
and
they're the evils.
Their souls and inflicting torment on their victims.
They're the evil
ones. These guys are even
quicker
quicker and more vicious than craft worlders, but can't use their psychic powers since they're more vulnerable to Slaanesh. Then, the Harlequins are the funny clown elves who worship one of the few surviving Elder gods, the laughing god Kegarak. These funky fellas
they're just
move
funny
through the
little
webway
fellas.
and
They're
appear
funny
where
little
needed
guys.
in order to achieve the esoteric goals of their god. The Harlequins
they're just
view
funny
battle
little
as
clowns
and ravage their foes in dramatic flourishes and theatrical performances.
I mean, I can dig it.
Then
I can
finally,
dig it.
we have the Ynnari. These are Eldar who worship the Eldar god of death, Yned. And they're made up of all sorts of Eldar and seek to collect all of the Crone swords in order to do a ritual called the Seventh Path that would resurrect Yned and sever their ties to Slaanesh. But these guys are pretty forgotten and irrelevant now, so...
Your file was not found. GW doesn't care about your faction. RIP. Also, yeah, clowns. I love women who can break me and clowns, specifically. Those are like two people, like two kinds of people I like. Clown girls and women who could break me.
Speaking of irrelevant and forgotten, though, there's also the Eldar Exodites who are like cool Amish Eldar who choose to live simpler
Workshop doesn't care about your faction so hard they don't even get an original joke.
But the most important thing is they have Dino Riders, baby.
They got dinosaurs.
Coolest shit ever.
Muscular clown girls. Now that would hit different. I'm just saying. That would hit different.
Too bad they'll never get any models or love or attention or really anything, honestly. But now, finally, rounding off the War in Heaven trio, we have the ancient foes of the Eldar and debatably most powerful faction in the setting, the Necrons. The Necrons are the spooky, scary skeleton robots dead set, no pun intended, on reclaiming their lost glory. After winning the War in Heaven
so
and shattering the Catan, the Necrons were a bit tuckered out, and they went into the Great Sleep in order to wait for the Eldar's minds to blow over so they could easily reclaim the galaxy. However, smart as he may be, the Silent King didn't account for technological degradation and these funky primates creating the grimdark setting of Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, it does happen like that. Humanity usually is,
they're now awakening in a degraded state in a
humans do usually muck things up.
But even still, the Necrons are an apocalyptic threat that would be nigh unstoppable. At least if they could get along, take their pills, and drink some coffee. Too bad.
Oh God, that is just me to a T. Like me, like I'm not like like just to keep myself regular. I have to drink like some water, maybe some coffee, just to kind of give me a little hydration and a caffeine boost. I gotta take my hormones so I don't have a hormone imbalance and get all moody. And then it's like just trying to work with people. That's a pain in the ass. God damn, dog.
They're robots, and robots don't drink coffee, silly.
Oh.
That drink's for adults. But even in their
Robots
current
can drink
state,
coffee.
the
You're
Necrons
just not
are
trying
still
hard
a near
enough.
eldritch threat with incomprehensibly advanced technology. Even their basic-ass grunt weapon is the Gauss rifle, a gun that literally disintegrates anything it shoots. And even scarier, they wear their Terminator inspiration on their sleeves.
Jeez.
I mean, they wear it on their
they have no
ulnas,
sleeves.
I guess.
They are naked.
But the point is, they are nearly
They're just
unkillable. And if
robots
they
be
were to fall in
freeballing
battle,
it.
usually their reanimation protocols can just bring them back to life.
Oh wow!
And
so they just
beyond
like,
their many
they
strengths,
die, they just
also
come back to life because they're
surprisingly have some of the
programmed
most
to do that.
interesting and fun characters, such as Cranky Old Man, Cranky Old Man, Cranky Old Man, and Cranky Old Man.
You know,
jokes,
just
their
a-
characters are truly interesting, but it was pretty funny to call them all Cranky Old Men because they are.
There's a gang
But
of
another
cranky Kongs over
technologically
here.
advanced race that is on the exact opposite of the age spectrum are the new kids in town, the Tau. The Tau are the youngest faction in the setting and are known for their rapid technological development brought on by their mysterious leaders, the Ethereals.
Okay, so I know two things about 40k. I know about the Space Marines, big bad Space Marines, and I followed a few artists who get a little funky, who get a little funny when they're drawing, like, and like I had to Google them to figure out what they were. Drawing very voluptuous Tau women, I should say. Because, you know, I do love voluptuous blue women. I mean, the Asari are one thing. I do love like Tali Zora, you will always have my heart. Like but the Asari they are good looking, and I would say so are Tau women. Tau Ussy propaganda. It do be hitting different. It do be hitting. That should be hitting. Oh, as for me, yeah, like, yeah, the Tau fan arts, yes. Also, for me, for coffee, it's kind of hit or miss. Like, sometimes it relaxes me, sometimes it makes me eepy. Like, for some reason, coffee just does the opposite of what it's supposed to do, and it makes me want to sleep. Makes me want to relax and sleep and get all cozy and bundle up in my blankie. Like, that's what coffee does to me.
In a setting of stagnation and decline, the Tau set themselves apart with their blazing technological advancements. Or at least they kind of used to. I mean, they still advance the fastest, but everyone's advancing nowadays. But despite being historically overhated in the community, the Tau are a really cool little race that are technically the good guys of the setting.
So why do they hate the Tau? Is it because is it because they're not human? And it's like from what I've gathered, there are no good guys in this setting. It's just a bunch of bastards, and it's just a galaxy full of bastards, and you kind of just have to weigh what you would consider an acceptable level of bastardom from what I've gathered. But yeah, like I haven't found, like, obviously, like, I'll have to dive into each faction a bit more deeply before I find a favorite. Like I do love that promiscuous chaos god over there. That is on the teetering scale, and I have been very accustomed to Taoisi propaganda, so I'm just saying.
Because when you're in a room with Baby Stomps a lot, best known for stomping a lot of babies, Eviler Skeletor, and literally Satan, I suppose the warmongering imperialist ultra-authoritarians are the quote-unquote good guys.
Oh.
But anyways, the Tau have a lot going for them. Although they're the smallest faction in the setting, their advanced battle suits and weaponry allows them to punch well above their weight. And
TLDR, Tau are basically weebs / too innocent. Like anything else, you would hate them, but in Warhammer they are too light, all things considering. Even though they are worse than the Empire in Star Wars. Oh wow. So like the Empire in Star Wars is pretty bad. And you're telling me that that's light in the 40k universe. Jesus Christ. God, it's just like every faction is just like space Napoleon Hitlerites. That's messed up, dog.
Coolest of all to me is that they're basically the 40k Covenant and have a bunch of Xeno auxiliaries in the Empire fighting for the greater
Why
good.
do you got Kirby there?
I just wish that this was represented on the tabletop a little bit more.
Yeah,
next up.
That's what chat was saying.
Technologically advanced
40k
race,
coveys,
known for being relative good guys of the setting and being shorter than the average faction. But also rock and stone. The Leagues of Votann are the dwarves, baby. And in the last year, we do love dwarves. In the space fantasy,
dwarves are pretty great.
The Votann are the closest we have to an honest-to-emperor sci-fi faction. These cool short guys were once humans of the Dark Age of technology, or perhaps Dark Age of technology men of stone, who were sent to the galactic core with the help of the advanced AI Votann cores to exploit the core's vast riches.
Robot
for whatever
dwarf.
reason, these prospectors remained in the core and developed their culture and physiology to the kin that we know and love today. Each kin is selectively cloned into ultra tough and very short guys. And these guys are honestly kind of wholesome, at least to each other. Interestingly, they even have completely sentient AI who they treat equal to biological kin. In my opinion, these guys are honestly way nicer than the Tau. Again, to each other, as they're slightly more xenophobic, but
still one of the least xenophobic factions. They're more so isolationists outside of hostile acquisitionists. So everybody's just, so 40k is basically just what happens when everybody's racist and also a dickhead. That's basically what I'm gathering.
Literally are largely defined by their wholesome family values. Wholesome family values and callously ravaging entire living worlds for the sake of profit, that is.
They're the space capitalists.
For you if you like ultra tough dwarves, and trust me, they are annoyingly durable, super strong firepower, and quick mechanized assaults. Or if you just think fantasy dwarves are funny, but would be a lot funnier with crazy ass science guns.
Dwarves with science guns, Jesus. So literally, the Empire cannot understand how the Tau can even make people desert to their side, because the higher-ups in the Empire get surprised by the fact that the Tau offer clean water, constant food, actual shelter. It's enough to make people willingly defect. Like the whole mind control thing the Tau have is possibly propaganda from the Imperium. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if I've never heard anything, granted, I've never heard anything about 40k in general, but saying what I know based off of this and the religious fanaticism of the Imperium, I would not put it past them to spread propaganda that, oh, the Tower brainwashing people. I wouldn't, in order to, defect, I would not be surprised in the slightest. That sounds like something a nation of religious fanaticisms would do.
Oh, and of course, they have their iconic grudges.
Oh.
But finally, for the Xenos, let's talk about perhaps the most alien faction. These guys are aliens among aliens, as they aren't even from this galaxy. The Tyranids are an extragalactic species who has but one goal. Eat, eat, eat.
So they're the Flood. They're the Flood then. Okay.
Tyranids are a seemingly unending horde of dinosaur bug monsters controlled
Dino
by an
bug
ancient
monsters.
and vast hive mind.
Yep, they're the
these
Flood.
guys are perhaps
They're the Flood then.
biggest
Oh,
threats
God.
in the 40k universe.
Why do they
I
have
still
a
think it's
Flood?
Chaos or Necrons, but whatever.
Why do they have
the
a
Tyranids
Flood?
Are a true eldritch horror.
The Flood
They
are
employ a number of
terrorizing
terrifying
enough.
bioforms that consume all they come across and evolve at a terrifying rate to match whatever enemy it faces.
They're
But
the
despite
Flood.
its bestial nature, the hive
Jesus.
mind is no mindless beast. In reality, it is extremely cunning and creates bioforms and strategies that keep even the most powerful strategic minds and most legendary heroes on their toes.
I don't mean to keep bringing up Halo, but like, it literally is just, it literally is like the same as the Flood. Like, both are like ever evolving mass hive minds. Like the Flood that I'm referencing, like the Flood from Halo. The Flood that I'm referencing is the Flood from Halo, the infectious parasite that, like the infectious parasite that takes people over and attempts to yeah, it's hard to explain them off cuff.
These
yeah.
crazy-ass bugs literally evolved to eat demons after all.
Oh.
Actually insane.
They're just
So,
bug-eating
if you play
demons.
as an unrelenting
demon-eating
demon-eating with
bugs.
the occasional giant awesome monster, then the Tyranids might be for you.
Big monsters
or
are
apparently
cool.
if you're a woman, you might also like the Tyranids. I wouldn't know. I don't talk to women. But anyways, I also like to make
So why would women like the Tyranid? Like, is there a bit about that?
a quick mention of the Tyranid super cool sub-faction, the Gene Stealer Cults.
Oh.
These guys are cults that form from Gene Stealers' sense of plans to covertly take them over through generations of steamy hot sex.
Oh.
Gene Stealer? More like Gene Giver, am I right, boys?
Oh.
Gene Stealer.
Very
I
super
hardly know her.
funny lurk.
Waka waka.
Waka waka.
Gene Stealer, more like Gene Dropper.
Okay, brother, you're trying.
And
you're
also underwear if they have that.
You're trying too hard,
insert
bro.
Rim shot, am I right?
You're
But
trying a little too
anyways,
hard there,
the
brother.
Gene Stealer infiltrators infect hosts with their genetic code, and over generations takes over communities and creates more Gene Stealers in order to eventually call their Tyranid overlords to consume the planet.
So basically, they're just going around, they're just fucking and sucking across the whole planet until they spread enough. They spread their genes enough to just eventually outpopulate the rest of the planet. That sounds like it might take a minute. That sounds like it might take a while.
Honestly, they're a really cool faction with a really cool and scary concept behind them. But that was a minute or so of every 40k faction. I left out a ton of details in order to keep this video relatively brief.
Obviously, because I'm
since I
still
meant for it to be a
very
quick video
lost.
to help people get the gist of the many factions of 40k.
Okay, so I
hope
have
was
a
able
basic
to
understanding
adequately
at
demonstrate
least.
the basics and what makes each of these factions cool.
Yes.
And if this video does well, I may make one for the more popular Space Marine chapters or something like that too.
Okay.
But anyways, big thanks to BootDev for sponsoring this video.
Maybe
Be
I'll look
sure to
into
check
that
out the link
too.
in description and use code CRACK to get 25% off your entire first year on the annual plan. And thank you for watching this epic video, and double
Absolutely.
thanks to patrons
Always
who
be
help
sure to
me a ton
support.
and make these epic videos. I truly
Always support the
appreciate
original
it.
creators, of
And
course.
as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and consider sharing to all your quick interest to many 40k factions. Thanks.
So that was a very something crash course on 40k factions. I'm still pretty lost. All I know is I am very susceptible to Tau propaganda, thanks to my Twitter feed. And also, they, them, ussy chaos god. It do be hitting different. I'm very weak-willed if it comes to women who could probably break me in half. I'm sorry. That's just who I am. I have a type. But yeah, let me know what your favorite faction in 40k is down in the comments below. And of course, do not forget to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and ding that bell so you know when I upload, and it helps me out in the algorithm. And as always, I will see you next time at the HQ. Bye-bye.